Good evening and welcome to Goods Armadillo Palace. If you're here for an event, don't feel like you have to be quiet on our account. If you're at your table having fun, go ahead. But in case you want to know what we're doing up here on the stage, let me just tell you briefly. My name is Michael Berry. I do a radio show on 740 KTRH. This show is known as Texas Time. We profile Texas people and places, and this week we're profiling Stephen Chadwick, an up-and-coming Texas musician. So this interview will be, yes, you can clap. This interview will be taped and it will air this Sunday from 5 to 7. It'll be on the podcast forever at texastime.com. And with that, we'll get to it. Good? Well, good Sunday evening. Welcome to Texas Time Radio. You can find us on the internet at texastime.com. You can sign up for our daily blast where we tell you what's going on, all things Texas. We profile Texas people and places. This week, we have a great show for you. Willie Braun of Reckless Kelly. We're going to talk to Inwood Estates, a great Texas winemaker. And we're going to profile an up-and-coming, and I think very talented Texas musician by the name of Stephen Chadwick. We are broadcasting from Goods Armadillo Palace at 5015 Kirby. Voted best burger joint in Houston for 2 years in a row in the Houston Press, and live local music being celebrated almost every night of the week, and that's a wonderful thing. Let's get to our guest, shall we? Our guest is Stephen Chadwick. Stephen, for people that don't know much about your music, you're in that realm of very talented, I think, musicians. Has some songs out there. You're playing a lot of places. You've just released your first CD. Tell me in a minute or less, if somebody doesn't know who Stephen Chadwick is, what you would want them to know.
Well, I grew up in Katy, Texas. I've been listening to George Strait, Merle Haggard. I got a lot of background. I like honky-tonk music. I enjoy the Texas music being played here in Texas, and really glad to finally have my CD out. I think it shows what I'm all about and where I'm going to be going.
You've been in music since you were a kid.
Yes,
you started in the church, like a lot of great musicians. Your dad was a musician. Tell me how you got into music from the very beginning.
Well, my dad used to go down to the Katy nursing home and play for the folks down there, and I used to go and sit in with him, and he'd just bring his guitar, and I would sing with him and get up there and sing, and then next thing you know, I was singing, and he'd be playing other shows, and people would be asking me to get up there and play, and I just started just singing with my dad. You know, he'd sing a couple of songs, I get up there and sing a couple of songs, and then he kind of just handed it over to me later on.
What was the first song? I heard an interview with Ricky Skaggs, and he talked about being on stage with Bill Monroe. He remembered the song, the date, the instruments that were played, the church they were. What was the first song you remember getting up and singing?
It's called Marie Laveau by Bobby Bear.
There you go. Can you still do the Marie Laveau scream?
I didn't do the actual scream, but...
you do the best train whistle coming from a human body I have ever heard. And we're going to get to a song that will let you do that a little later. You're 29 years old. You've been making music for a while now. Take me from the point of working at a drill bit company or a tool company to being able to make a living as a musician, because that's a big leap.
Yes, it is. I went from working for Kenmore Electric. I was a driver. I drove, worked 40 hours, and would do some stuff on the weekends with my band, but mostly I was working and doing covers and stuff like that at some bars and stuff like that, and then I went into started. My boss was really cool about things, and I would start coming in a little later in the day, and he would. He kind of understood the whole thing, and then word got out that I was playing around, and what happened is the gigs were starting to get into
into the work.
Work
was getting into the work.
Exactly. Work was getting into music. So
Hayes Carl has a great song called "I Got a Gig." He talks about it's a rough crowd. I think he made $5 or $50 in a case of Lone Star, but that meant he had made it. He was getting paid to play music. Do you remember that moment for you?
Yes, I was playing at just a little bar out there in Katy, and
was it as nice as Goods Armadillo Palace?
Oh, it wasn't as nice as Goods Armadillo Palace. I was actually really young back then. but I remember getting like $100, you know, and that was probably when I was about, I don't know, I was about 7 years old, and then, you know, you kind of get that being paid, and then actually doing a band deal, I finally probably made it when I was about, felt like I made it when I was about 22, and things were going really well for me.
Your first CD is out. I know you have to be very proud. It's your first CD of all original music, and the point of our show is to highlight that for people that love Texas music, that want to support musicians like you, want to be able to help you apply your trade and perfect your craft. So let's get to one of those songs. The song is called Salvation in Texas. Tell me a little bit about this song.
Well, Salvation in Texas, I grew up around my buddies and stuff. They rodeoed a lot, and I never did any rodeoing. I was just the guy that brought the guitar and drank beer in the back, and I remember all the stuff that they went through, and you know, you went from, you know, the older guys, you know, they had their wives and their significant others back at home, and you could tell that they wanted to get back home to
the red dirt of Texas.
The red dirt of Texas, and actually, you know. There was a songwriter, a good friend of ours, Deborah Morrison, actually had written something, and we kind of took it a different turn, but it's still the same thing. And I you know, basically just jumped on it pretty much, and kind of made more of like a bluegrass kind of roots kind of sound. That's probably on the CD. That's the most, you know, stripped down song on that CD.
Well, let's not hear the stripped down version. Let's hear the live version from Good's Armadillo Palace at 5015 Kirby. A little bit of that if we could, Stephen. It's called Salvation in Texas by Stephen Chadwick on his new CD.
I've been gone for 6 weeks now, beating down these roads. I ain't got much left in me, but I know where I want to go. I know what my heart is missing. What will make it right? I'll put my foot down on it hard after my last ride tonight. There's salvation in Texas. I can feel her love. One more ride here in Pecos. Can't get there fast enough. I can smell her sweet perfume, and I can see her smile. I just wanna hold her close, put her lips on mine. Now no one has to tell me I'm the lucky one, and I know that I'm much further than most men have ever come. And got 60 miles of highway before I see her face. Gonna hold her tight and never let her go. I can hardly wait. There's salvation in Texas. I can feel her love. I'm on my way back home from Pecos. Can't get there fast enough. I can smell her sweet perfume, and I can see her smile. I just wanna hold her close, put her lips on mine. There's salvation in Texas. I can feel her love. I'm on my way back home from Austin. Can't get there fast enough. I can smell her sweet perfume, and I can see her smile. I just wanna hold her close, put her lips on mine. I just wanna hold her close, put her lips
Very nice. Stephen Chadwick on his new CD of his first ever all original CD.